This week's show brought to you by Roosters, a fun casual joint. Frank Shoup, Georgetown's big name in cars. The Bluegrass Method, cutting-edge basketball training with Scott County's own Michael Richardson.
Welcome everybody to episode 3 of the Scott County Cardinals News Graphic Boys Basketball Coaches Show. We come to you every week with Coach Hicks and special guests to break down what we feel is the #1 team in the state. They haven't necessarily proven it the first couple of weeks, although last Friday night I felt like was a turning point for this group. They played Frederick Douglass, first time ever on the bright shiny new court there at Frederick Douglass High School in Lexington. Close game, back and forth, kind of a track meet the first half. It was a 38-34 halftime lead for the Cardinals. They went into halftime and had one of those patented third quarter runs that you tend to see out of a Coach Hicks coach team. Starts with defense, but they started picking it up on the offensive end as well. Scored 19 unanswered and blew out Douglass in the second half. That was their 4th win of the season, coming on the heels of a tough, hard-fought win over LCA earlier in the week, where basically the consensus top 2 teams in the 11th region going at it, and it was back and forth. It was tied at halftime. Real turning point of that game, and the Cardinals will admit it, is when Kyle Rode of LCA went out with a sprained ankle. Scott County, I believe, nursed kind of a 1 or 2 point lead at that point, stretched it out without Rode in the game. LCA fought as hard as they could, but ultimately about a 10-point victory for the Cards as they go 4-0. The Douglass game was their first game in the 42nd District, and now they look ahead to an interesting week. By the time you watch this, they will have played Lexington Catholic. We all know about that rivalry. It dates back 20 years. Certainly the game at the Sweet 16 back in the day in '98 really solidified that rivalry and made it the game. No matter what the records are, no matter who's playing on the teams, that is a game to watch. And this year, I think Lex Cath a little bit under the radar coming in. And Scott County is everybody's favorite in the region, but as Coach Hicks will tell you, not many times does a team win more than one game in that rivalry. There aren't many winning streaks, and SC won the last one in the region tournament last year, so it'll be interesting to see how that one panned out. Another different sort of game on the schedule this week. You want to turn out Thursday night, varsity's 7:30 tip. They'll be playing Trinity. Now, it's not the Trinity y'all know from Louisville that we're all chasing in football and in basketball this year. It's Trinity Grammar, which is an Australia school, Sydney, Australia. This is their summer vacation, so they're here kind of on an exchange tour playing basketball. And they played Fort Thomas Highlands on Monday night. That didn't go really well for them, but it's going to be an interesting game. The SC has played teams, foreign teams in the past. Some teams coming in, you really don't know what to expect. There's not a scouting report on them. There's not a lot of film available. So you just play your game and do what you do best, and hopefully that's what the Cards will do on Thursday night as they go up against Trinity. Going forward next week, probably by the time we get another show in the bank, there will have been 2 more games, so we better talk about those now. They play Wagner and Lafayette back-to-back. Lafayette is the first of those 2 games on Monday night, the 18th, and then Wagner the 19th. And that will wrap up the schedule before the Cards go to the Beach Ball Classic Christmas week, right after Christmas. They'll probably be traveling Christmas Day, as a matter of fact, for the 2nd consecutive year. But don't overlook that Lafayette game. That's another school, another program that's ranked top 25 in the state, and another name when you say it that everybody associates with great rivalries with Scott County. I know football has sort of ramped that up in recent years, but it's there in basketball. They had played a great game at the Toyota Classic last year where Lafayette almost pulled off an upset in the semifinals, so watch out for that game. Coach Hicks is watching out for all the games right now. He's the one that made this brutal schedule, and he's kind of kicking himself for it a little bit, but you've been able to see the football guys running back into shape. And as I said, that Douglass game really seemed like maybe a turning point for the season. I know Coach Hicks was encouraged by it as well. Let's hear what Billy had to say about last week and this big week coming up.
Scott County has played 3 other Kentucky top 10 teams through its first 5 wins.
It was, Cal, and again, I guess there's 2 philosophies on that, and you could really play a lot of scale down and play a lot of easy games and bring your team along, like a lot of teams do. It's probably what I'd like to do. But the way the schedule goes, we played. Already played 2 top 10 teams. Get ready to play one tomorrow night. The LCA is, there's a reason why they're number 6 in the state. They got a very good team, and we're nowhere near where we're going to be just for the fact is we're not yet settled in offensively yet. We don't have a flow to it yet. So sometimes we struggle to score, and sometimes we have defensive breakdowns, and that won't happen. Once we get into January, we may have trouble making some shots from time to time, but defensively we should become a good, well-oiled machine by then, moving stuff. But yeah, you got to give the Tommy Franks and Desert Storm said it best. The other team always has a say in it. I thought LCA played really good. I thought Douglas the other night, the first half, I watched that tape, and we didn't play that bad. We just missed some shots and some scoring opportunities. Man, they shot the ball really good. Mitchell had 15 at halftime, and he hit threes. He drove to the basket, hit some tough contested shots and everything. So, again, if you can play good teams and win, yeah, it's a lot better.
The common denominator in every game has been a stronger second half.
It deals with comfort. They come out the first game, they're not yet have the confidence, they're still having to think a little too much. And then I think after coming out the second half, we get a little better with it. Hopefully it was against Douglas, and then against LCA, we probably was settled in for a knockdown drag-out finish, and then when Rhodes just hurt, that obviously that hurts their team a lot. That's a big part of their, it's 30–40% of their team out there. We handles the ball and does for them. So, but I look back at the second half of Dunbar, and even the first half of Dunbar, not too bad. So I hope we can build on that, Cal, and hope it's coming together. We've looked better in practice. We're still having to get stuck between plays. We're still losing the ball here and there. That hopefully that won't continue and stuff, and we can get that down good. But we are looking more like a unit, and the more that Glenn and Cooper and Landon and Josh get into the flow, and now not just those guys getting in, now other guys taking on new roles, and they got to get ready for their new roles. Now we use Cam mostly on the wing, so we take advantage of his ability to shoot the ball from the corner and the wing and everything. So that gives us a three-man rotation from the wings with Cam, Josh, and Lorenzo. Gives us a three-man rotation at the top. They guard with Cooper, Glenn, and Diablo. So that, and then Landon with Michael there. So it gives us. We all learn new roles, and we're going to get better. We're going to really get better. And I just hope we can hang on, and because tomorrow night's our biggest rivalry game of the year tomorrow night. So we got to get ready for that.
Lorenzo Williams and Bryce Long had explosive nights in the wins over Frederick Douglass and LCA.
Yeah, Lorenzo, he's so explosive from the wing, and a lot of it was at Dunbar. I mean, at Douglas was he got the ball in position to explode from the wing, and we haven't been doing a good job of getting the ball up and getting it to him where he can't explode, because he's really a strong driver to the basket, and Bryce is Bryce can get open for the good set shot is good, but also Bryce is getting tough off the dribble now. Once Bryce gets better off the dribble, he'll be like a Trent Gilbert type. Trent used to be a guy that just guarded, and he couldn't put it on the floor. Then Trent's senior year, Trent got to where he could put it on the floor. Then that scoring average went from 15, 16 up to 25, 26, because now he was hard to stop. So Bryce is getting better at that. Both those young men are really fine young men. They're just juniors this year, but they've got a lot of experience. They've been 3-year starters for us.
The Lex-Cath rivalry dates back to a Sweet 16 game that none of the current players are old enough to remember.
Oh gosh, it started in '98, and I think we got one guy on our team that was born at that time. It started with Lexington Catholic, Scott County in '98. They had a great basketball team. I think it's probably the best team they've ever had that I've seen in my coaching time. And gosh, and some way, somehow, we had a good team too, but we had a great, tough bunch of kids. And we beat them in the semifinals of state. And boy, from there, it's just really gone into a really big rivalry. The fans, I thought their fans want to beat Scott County, and our fans want to beat Lexington Catholic. And a lot of that, Cal, is respect. There's no team I respect more than Lexington Catholic. Those kids have a degree of toughness that's unmatched in this region. And and they battle the heck out of you, but they shake your hand, look you right in the eye at the end of the game. You know, and it's you know, I've got great respect for them.
Trinity Grammar of Australia is a unique opponent on the Scott County schedule.
They have these travel teams that schools that get together, and this is their summertime down there. So they come to America to play, and they play tonight up at Highlands. I said, well, we're going to find out a little bit about them. You never know. It could be a team that's really tough, or it could be a team that's really bad, or it could be an average team. You just don't know what you get into. Clay County had the longest winning streak in the country. It was broken by an Australian team that broke that. So you don't know what you're getting into. I'm glad we don't have the first game. they play a couple games before they play us. But, you know, the cultural thing, Cal, from a community standpoint, from a school, is immeasurable, because we get to see these kids and we realize that they're just like us, you know. It really is exciting. I think our community gets a kick out of it, because we get a chance to see some Australia kids and get a chance to share a part of our great county and our Scott County pride, our Scott County heritage. We get a chance to share that with someone from another country.
All right, that's Coach Hicks bringing you the knowledge, and certainly there's no one better to bring it about Scott County basketball. He has a lot of background in these U.S. versus Australia games. He's played them before, so I know he's looking forward to that one on Thursday night. Hope you are as fans as well. Again, a 7:30 tip-off. Our players, our special guests this week, Bryce Long was the leading scorer in that win over Lexington Christian with 19 points. It was a tough night offensively, but he stepped it up with 10 in the fourth quarter to put it away. And also Lorenzo Williams. He's been a defensive wizard, stopper, call him what you will here, for the past couple of years. But Coach Hicks is expecting more from him offensively. Didn't quite see it for the first 3 games, first 3.5 games, but he really stepped up in that third quarter against Douglas. Kind of keyed that run on the offensive end with 7 or 8 quick points, and was doing it defensively as well. Let's hear what the 2 of those outstanding juniors, Bryce Long and Lorenzo Williams, had to say.
Defense fueled offense in the second half rallies to victory over Douglas and LCA.
Yeah, I mean, I thought during LCA we shot the ball well. I mean, some of the shots we shot were forced. We just got to be patient and get the best one. Frederick Douglass went in there, new gym, new school. I mean, we played down to their level, I think, the first half, and then got back to Scott County basketball the second half.
Key. Oh, it's always defense every game. We have a defensive game plan every game, and we go out and execute it. And my job was to shut down Road, and I think me and Glenn did a good job guarding him, and unfortunately got hurt in the second half. So.
Scott County was happy to avenge last year's only in-state regular season loss against Catholic.
I mean, yeah, it was tough going into their place last year. I knew that feeling. I knew it was going to be a tough game. We didn't play like we would have liked to, but I mean, we bounced back in regionals and got the win, but we're going to have to come out ready tomorrow because they're going to be fired up.
Yeah, he hasn't got much in the game plan. I'm sure he'll get into it before the game, but obviously, yeah, since back in '98, they had big rivalries, and they've always been like top teams in the country. He even said they were 4 and Catholic was 6 at the time. And people from here say the one win they won in the season is always Lexington Catholic.
The Cards look forward to making connections with the incoming Australian players.
Coach said that they haven't been good in the past usually, but he said that this team that they brought in this year is supposed to be a lot better than what the past has been, so hopefully it'll be a good game.
Yeah, we don't know too much about them. I'm sure Coach is struggling trying to find film on them. He said we're going to actually get to meet some of the players and actually get to talk to them.
Bryce and Lorenzo helped lead the Cards to an undefeated start while the football players were rounding into basketball shape.
Yeah, for sure. We got to just continue to grow and get ready for tournament time. I mean, it feels good going 4-0 for sure.
Yeah, definitely ahead of us. Obviously, football players get more comfortable and Diablo fit in the new system, but we'll be ready.